Hello, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Angela Renee, and you're watching Angela Renee Chats. This month, we are doing a series celebrating women's history. We want to honor the women who have overcome hardship, tragic things, who have accomplished things when life was maybe coming against them, and they pushed through anyway. So today is our first guest, and this is Shellee. Shellee is my good friend. We went to church together, we worked together at a church, and we've known each other for several years now. So, Shellee, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for inviting me.
I'm not going to even spoil what we're going to talk about today. I just want Shellee to start with her story, and then I'll explain why we're honoring her.
All right. About 3 years ago, almost to the day, I lost my husband. We were together for nearly 30 years, and he passed away. And tragically, he had taken his life. He had brain trauma. And it wasn't really until after he died that they were able to see more of the extensive damage to his brain. And that, you know, we all go through hard times, and we all have despair, and that's nothing new. But this absolutely destroyed me. We went to junior high together, then we went to high school, and we started dating when I was 16, and he was the older man at 18. And our first date was his senior prom.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's so cute.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your husband and what it was like.
Eddie was hysterical.
Yes, he was.
Very vivacious. He was the life of the party.
All the time.
And I used to say that he's like a Labrador Retriever. He's just very playful. He wants to make everyone happy. And he was the type of person that he could walk into a room and he would be able to spot who was the saddest in the room. And he would probably make sure that person left the room feeling like they had a new friend in him.
Yeah.
So he was a great guy.
And he was also a great father.
Yes, he was an amazing father to the kids. I have a son and a daughter. He was a playful parent. Often I felt like I had three.
Yeah.
And sometimes I
used to feel like you had three too.
Yeah, I felt like he was the youngest of the three.
Yes, that's funny. I know.
But but that's why they were so much fun.
Yeah.
I mean, they just had so much fun together. He coached their athletic teams. He was extremely intentional. All he ever wanted to do, I mean, honestly, was like to get married and have children. I mean, that's all he ever wanted to do. And he didn't think that would ever really happen with a lot of the trauma from his own past. So the fact that he had that, I think, is just beautiful. And I'm really honored that I was able to be that person for him.
How old were you two when you got married?
I was 21. We got engaged when I was 19. It's so weird. I look...
That's so young.
And it's so young.
It's so
my son is 17, and it's just really weird.
Right. Yeah, you're like, so in 2 years, technically, you could be engaged, right?
Yeah, it's, it's wonderful. It was great. And I kind of think we were the last of the people who go out of high school and do that. But it was never it was never a question.
Yeah.
You know, we just knew that we were going to be together. I look back and I think, how did I get through that day? I don't know. I think you have no choice.
Right. Okay.
There's just no choice.
Yeah, because first you have the kids.
Right. And that was hard. I mean, I remember like falling up and down, and I was sick to my stomach, and I was told we're going to have to go get your kids, and you know what you say to them is going to be it's going to be the setting stone for the rest of their life by what you say to them. And I just remember this incredible pressure.
Oh my God.
And the hardest part in my life was having each child on a side of me and them hearing that their father was gone.
Oh my God.
There's nothing that has been more painful. I can't imagine anything more painful than the shock in the children's faces and the sounds that don't sound human that come from it. And that was by far the worst moment. And that went on for a while.
Of course.
What I learned is grief is accumulative. So when I lost Eddie, I was feeling the weight of all these other loss experiences in my life. And so I had to dig deep and kind of figure, when you lose someone anyway, it's difficult. When you lose someone by suicide, it throws you back, and you have to start tracing back your life, because you wonder, how the hell did I get here?
Right.
How did this happen?
Absolutely.
How did this happen? How did this slip from my fingers?
Right.
And so I had to go back, and because I felt like a lot of people do, you feel guilt, you think I could have stopped it, and I gave myself this power that honestly I learned I did not have. And I learned that doing a lot of deep work on myself, that I only have the power to take back my own life. I can't take back your life for you, or anyone else's life for you.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge, Shell. That's huge.
Yeah. So I had to learn to take back my life. And someone said to me early on that I will never be okay, and I will never truly be happy again. And neither will my children.
Wow.
And I remember hearing that and thinking, this is like, why are we here? Like,
then why? Yeah,
there's no hope.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, well, that can't be our family. That was not our family. We were a happy, vivacious, silly family. And so, and I'm like, we're going to have that again, and we're going to be happy.
Yeah. So what did you do to get your life back?
I went into a grief recovery program.
Okay.
And I started off at kind of regular counseling, which was fine, but I ended up really having to go into deep work with the grief recovery. And that is, it was homework. I mean, it's reading, it's doing homework, it's really digging through the losses of your life, all the way back to, like, you go to your first memory and you work it all through. It was the most profound experience I went through, and after I went through it, that's when I got certified to be a specialist in it.
Yeah.
I am now a grief recovery specialist, and I work with people who have loss, any loss. I mean, there's over 40 types of loss. So it could be loss of job, I mean, empty nesters, and any kind of loss. So far it has been a lot of death. But, and I had, someone kind of wonders, why do you want to put yourself in that position? Because I knew what I needed at that time in my life, and I wanted to be able to do that for someone else.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So how do you get from the day to, okay, I'm gonna get help? Like, that in between, what was it like before you went to go get help? I'm sure there was a lot of tears and a lot of days of in the house, but like, how did you pick your, like, tell me about those days, and how did you actually get yourself out? Because I know there's people that are probably still stuck, maybe even after years of dealing with that loss, a loss like that.
Yeah. So. It was absolute despair. I mean, there was a lot of fetal position, rocking back and forth in the corner, crying. I mean, Nick, you couldn't breathe. I remember waking up, taking the kids to school. I would come home, go into bed, and then when it was time to pick them up, I would kind of get dressed like I had been up doing stuff. I would pick up the kids, come home, and say, oh gosh, I've been busy, I can go take a nap, just to go back to bed again. I mean, that was my thing. It was it was an emotional hemorrhage, but you are in so much pain. That's the pain, and you don't see the hope. And again, I wanted my husband back. The hope was gone for that. And so, when you're a mom and you have kids that are looking to you, I knew the only way this could change was I had to change. And how did I make those steps? It was, I was a faithful person, and I kind of went through a phase of, I lost my faith. I did.
Of course.
And that was extremely difficult. I felt very abandoned. I felt like a fool. I felt like I drank the juice. And because I think the last night before, he and I were on our knees holding each other and praying, and crying out to Jesus, and he was crying, and then when the next day he's gone, you're like, okay, well, that went well. Okay.
Right.
So it was and I mean, here I
was just praying about this. I thought we killed that. When you're like rebuke stuff and you, you call Jesus down on it, like you're believing everything's And the person still doesn't make
And I
it.
said,
Right.
you know, Jesus will not let you fall. And I'm like, and you fell.
Right.
I mean, it was horrible. But as I learned, is that, you know, God was right there during all of that. He knew the moment Eddie was born, how Eddie's life was going to end. He knew. And as I really dug deep and I got through to the universe, like I had to look at molecules, and I was like thinking of the ocean and space. Like I had to go all the way back to creation and see how this is mathematical, this is designed. Okay, there is a God. And then once I was able to say, okay, there's a God, okay, well, what's the most important thing in the world? And it's love. Well, who came as love? Jesus. Bam. Okay. And I thought the mustard seed, at first that verse just totally set me off from God, because I was like, you know, really? I go out and move a mountain? Okay, it's going to move.
Literally, my mountain just did not move.
Yeah, it did not move.
And my faith was way bigger than mustard seed.
Yes.
Yeah. Totally.
Absolutely. So I'm like, well, this is just a crock.
Yeah.
And then as I started doing my, you know, molecule research of science, I'm like, well, how big is a mustard seed? And I looked up a picture of a mustard seed, and it was just so tiny. And I'm like, I think I have that. Because I was not ready to go to my kids and say, I don't believe anymore.
Right.
And when I was not ready to say that, I'm like, I still have a mustard seed of faith.
Wow.
And I realized,
that's crazy.
And I realized that my mountain, this is my mountain. And God can help me move it. And so it was a lot of, it was a lot of despair. It was a lot of thinking, I'm not going to make this, but I knew it had to be done for my kids.
Yeah.
And I knew my husband did not want this. That's what was so difficult, was that he did not want this.
Yeah. Well, obviously today we are celebrating Shellee overcoming despair and finding hope in a very hopeless, tragic situation. So I honor you, my friend. I honor you for overcoming such a tragic situation. I honor you for being a beautiful, wise, fighting mom to your kids, who are now, what, 17?
17 and 15.
Yeah, and you have not left them. You have not left them. You have been fully present, even when you felt like you couldn't be. You put on clothes to make it look like you had a busy, active day. Like that's what we do for husbands when we've got babies on, you know, like hanging all over us, and we're like, oh yeah, I just got ready, went to the store, and we've been at home like drowning in kids. You know what I mean? And you did that for your kids. You did, and now you're helping all these wonderful people. So we honor you.
Thank you very much.
Just as we wrap up, what is life like now?
Life, it's, you know, I promised the kids at Eddie's memorial service that our life was still going to be beautiful, and it was just going to be beautiful in a new way. And that is what it is.
Wow.
It is a new kind
so
of beautiful.
Good.
And it does come to a matter of choice.
Yes. Woo, that was good. You need to say that again.
Okay. It comes to choice.
Yes.
And I knew that
gosh.
I could not keep living like this.
Yeah.
And it took everything I had to make the choice that I am either going to be bitter or I'm going to be better. And sometimes I'll go bitter, better, bitter, better.
Yeah, totally.
It happens.
I understand.
But all in all, there is no way that this is going to defeat my children's life or my life.
Yes, good. Do you guys still laugh?
We laugh a lot. We kind of have a lot of twisted humor. We do just get twisted humor and things like this. But we're funny. We're funny.
Are you funny?
We're funny.
Should we
people.
start a reality show and make some money?
Oh boy. No, but we do. We laugh. We have a good time. We are extremely transparent.
Awesome.
We have learned to be extremely open with how we feel. So much so that I know I annoy them because they're teenagers. So I breathe. You know, that's annoying.
Yeah, I know. Mom, you're breathing so loud.
You know, why are you getting the refrigerator? I'm getting a drink. You know,
why do you have to? That's my drink. No, actually, it's mine.
It's just
I pay all the bills.
Another thing I learned was it was very important for me as a woman to be able to mentor other women who have gone through tragedy or even just hard times, because it is so easy to get stuck.
Yeah.
It is so easy. And I mean, I still have hard days.
Yeah.
And I have a long way to go.
Yeah.
And I have layers that I'm working through. But my gosh, I am nowhere where I used to be. And that's hope. Because that was something that was completely unseen.
Yeah. I hope if you guys know anyone who has experienced loss, that they will watch this video and feel hope and get help. If you are local to the Santa Clarita Valley or the San Fernando Valley and you would like help from Shellee, I will put her information down at the bottom. And if you're listening to this on podcast, I will also put this in the description somehow to make sure that you can get in touch with Shellee. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And we really hope this has blessed you. Remember as we go that you love others, that you share your stories and impact lives. Bye.